And what they're saying is, remember, nothing is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing is right or wrong. So you're going to get some humans that's come to just give the message. You're going to get some humans that choose to experience it and then give it. And there is even some that has chosen to just experience it and not share it, because that's not what they're here to do. They're here to just experience it.
Yep.
And that's okay too. So
absolutely,
everything is okay, because we're just in this makeup of storytelling where we've like, okay, this is just one part, and what they're showing me right now is different doors. So within our makeup, there's different doors. So this is just one door. This is just one door that we're subconsciously in.
You got to accentuate the positive. Wow, I feel good. A little bit of feel good goes a long way.
You're listening to Karen Swain, teacher of deliberate creation, accentuating the positive, showing you a way to a better life.
Accentuating the positive, it's not just fad, it's sanity. Who in their right mind would accentuate anything else?
If you feel like that's what you want to do.
Hello and welcome to another show, Accentuating the Positive with Karen Swain. So great to be with you as always. Well, I've got the gorgeous and delicious Zoe Pennant back on the show. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome. Hiya.
Now, Zoe and I had a conversation at the beginning of the year and we loved it so much we thought, well, let's do this again. And this is the date we picked. And it's so funny. I was just revisiting our conversation before we got on, and we were all talking about the fires in Australia, and because that happened at the end of last year and right at the beginning of this year. In fact, New Year's night, New Year's Eve was one of the worst days that we had the fires down under. So we were all up in that conversation, but boy, has the world changed since then, Zoe.
Yes, definitely. Most definitely.
Oh, there's lots to talk about. The cat has come to say hello. He's harassing me. Hello.
Yes.
Mine's
gone out to play. I wish I had mine. Usually comes to sit with me as well, but they've gone out to play. So
he's jumping all over me and trying to drink my water. Okay, well, for people that don't know, Zoe, I'm just going to read your bio again and just share briefly your story. So Zoe Pennant, known as the Sage, has been on a spiritual journey most of her life. In her 20s, she became aware of her existence, wanting to understand who she is and why she's here. Today, she has come to know this journey called life is a spiritual growth which we choose to experience and can choose to learn from and unpack.
Yes.
Zoe has been a meditator for over 20 years, connecting with Tibetan meditation through her lineage, as she is a quarter Tibetan. Actually, last time we talked about you being the United Nations, because you've got so many different things inside you, different lineages inside you. Meditation, energy healing allowed you to tap into your inner guidance, and in turn created a whole new way of how to connect with your true self. The Sage was a name given to you by a spiritual teacher that saw the sage within you. You then realized that the sage is within all of us, and you wanted to share this love. Zoe is sharing the story of her experience today to empower and help. Well, actually, that was last time. So we did the show last time where we talked about your experience meeting the three beings in 2017. Zoe is the founder of the Dyslexic for the Wise, which she creates. She delivers special educational training and courses for people who have been recognized with dyslexia. She's an educational psychologist, meditation teacher who delivers mindful classes, movement meditation, Tibetan meditation, and art, and is the author of 4 published books: Wholeness Within, a spiritual guide to self-knowledge, freedom of thought, a scrabbled mind, and children's books, a Nuberian story to tell. Zoe is also an artist, foster parent of 3 children, and mother of 2, grandmother, wife, and the energy of all things, which I loved. We said that last time. So yes, briefly, if you met these beings that turned up in your home in 2017 that have been talking to you ever since, and they call themselves CHON, or CHON Oneness, which stands for, what does it stand for again, Zoe?
Ah,
Carbon, hydrogen,
carbon,
oxygen,
hydrogen, oxygen,
nitrogen.
nitrogen.
That's
Yeah.
it, right.
And yeah, it wasn't that they called themselves that because they were saying we're anything. It was a connection that connected with how they were explaining the energy of all things and how they were explaining themselves. And that name came up and they were like, well, there you go. Because without that, we are not. So it's like the everything of who we are. So that's how it was explained. But they never said that is who we are. I think, and you were able to connect with this, whoever we energy wise we connect with, they don't really give names. They don't really say, well, I'm definitely this, and I'm, because they don't work with words in that way, you know. So it's never like we choose to give them a label, however they don't work in that way. So yeah.
Look, absolutely, absolutely. They're a stream of consciousness, not a singular identity. They're not singular, like they don't identify as we identify each other with
Yeah.
labeling something. They're energy, and I suspect that when we're not in these physical forms and having this earth experience, we would identify them through feeling the frequency, feeling their energy, and there wouldn't be any. It wouldn't be necessary to actually call them anything. It would just be
Yeah.
a feeling like, oh, that's the intent, or
Yeah.
that's kind of what you're bringing to the party. Because they're not really people or beings.
No.
They got to show up so that our linear minds can,
Yeah.
you know, as you've drawn them, you draw them like this big head, which has no features on it. And it's just like energy. It looks like a beehive, which is energy. And then these little tiny bodies. So I suspect that that's just how I don't know, it's how they appeared to your mind to give you something to sort of grasp onto. Because
Yeah.
they're energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have they gone into that in more detail with you?
With regards to who they are.
Yeah, regards to the
Yeah.
energy that they are.
Again, it's very, very simple. And the simple side to it, it's like with us humans, we always have something to ask. And that's a good thing because that's why we're here. But we always have something to ask. So whenever, well, what about this? And what does this mean? And what does this? It gets to a stage where it's like, it's okay to just be, and it's okay to not know. You know, it's okay. So with the connection with the beings, I'm really free for, I would say, for once in this physical lifetime, where I don't need to have to ask and search and search. It just is. And whatever conversation we have, it just flows. So I've given you an example, everything what's going on now with the situation. I did not go to them. I did not ask anything because I didn't need to. It was very clear with what was going on. It was very clear with our connection throughout the years that we've had together. And I didn't need to ask them why or what does this mean or what is happening, because to tell you the truth, I'll be repeating myself. And it gets to a stage where it's like, okay, we've spoke about this before. Do you want it another way? I can give it to you another way, but it's going to end up being the same answer. And I got that very clearly. And it was just embracing what was happening instead of asking, because I just didn't need to.
Well, Zoe, you might not need to. You're a seasoned meditator, and meditation is about living in the now, accepting what is, like what's showing up is good. You know, like Byron Katie, one of my favorite teachers, says, when you argue with what is, you lose, but only 100% of the time. So, you know, you don't argue with what is. It's just like accepting what is and then seeing how you can like work with what is. It's not why is this happening? Why? But the human populace, the human collective, spiritual seekers alike and mainstream people, they're all asking why. They all want to know, why is this happening? What does this mean? What can I do? And so that why, and it is with any channeled message really, that it's just a broken record. It's all on repeat. It's just all on repeat. Because like Abraham Hicks says, we could make it really simple, get happy. And then you say, oh, too simple. So we get a lot of words and just, make it really complicated. And then you say too much words, make it simpler. So it's the human collective is all asking why. So I'm going to ask why. See what they say.
And then with that answer, I'll definitely give it to them. Because it's coming to the same continuation of the answer from before when I was on, when we spoke about the animals. It ain't no different. So it's a continuation. So where we had the situation with the animals, now we're having the situation with humans, and it ain't no different. So it's a shift of change, a shift of breaking cycles, a shift of something that it needs to happen. And what they're saying is, this ain't the ending. There's going to be more in years to come. More stuff is going to happen where we're going to be like, oh my gosh, we've never experienced this before. Why is this happening? Oh, I can't believe we're not free to just go out and and see our families, and we're feeling lonely right now. And there's a lot of shake-up that's happening with humans, and it's a shake-up that, this is what they're saying, this is the beginning of the shake-up. Because with the human mind is that we will experience something and get that shock, and once that shock goes, it's like we continue on to how it was before. I won't say go back, because we never go back, but we continue to how things were before. And it's just a cycle that we go through. So because the way the makeup of our humans are, it's going to be a continuation. So there's going to be more. This ain't just, oh, this is the worst thing that's happened to us, and this is going to be it. It's going to be more. And it's going to be more because we've been conditioned for thousands of years, and we're used to the way that we do things. And if any change comes, it means, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end, because we're going into an experience that we haven't remembered. Yeah. So they're saying about, we've been through this already. Humans have been through this already. It's a cycle that we're going through, and it's a cycle that is it's not even the beginning, because there's no beginning, there's no end, but they're making us see that this ain't going to just be it. And it can't just be it, because we've got a lot to do as humans. And what they mean by that is not just physical, but our mindset, our consciousness. Again, this simple word of just unity. We're still working with just that, much less anything else that we need to be able to experience and just be. Unity is very important. And it's important because we've chosen to be here as humans. We've chosen this experience. And we can't choose an experience with some of the things that we choose to experience. Oh, well, I'm okay with that. I want to experience that. Oh, but I don't want to experience that over there. I want to experience having lovely people that love and care and kindness, but I don't want to experience the humans that choose to kill, choose to do things that we feel is not of a good nature. Yeah. So if we're still going to have that mindset of, I'm okay with that over there, but I'm not okay with that over there, we've got work to still do here on earth.
Yeah, it's polarization. Look, you couldn't have hit the nail on the head better, really. There's a conversation on my Facebook page because I posted something that Trump had said, and oh my God, the fury. Because I've never posted anything that Trump had said. I've never said I'm for him. I've never said I'm against him. I've never said anything about Trump. We've spoken a few times with different people on the show about Trump. Every time his name comes up, people just go crazy. But he seems to be able to polarize people in a way I've never seen before. And there's this couple of girls, couple of women, beautiful, loving, healing, spiritual women that are just going off on Facebook in such a violent way about this man. And yet they consider themselves loving, good people, but they see something they disagree with and they turn into these animals. No, it's not animals, is not the right word. They turn into these angry, um, insulting, rude people. It's so interesting. Yeah, if we can't embrace everything, then we're not living inside unity. If we're
Yeah,
saying I'm only going to be for what's good, stand up for
yeah,
what's good, and I'm going to hate everything that's bad, then we're not actually experiencing unity, uh,
yeah,
which is the
yeah,
whole point of this show, really. I've put so many people on the show that have experienced terrible things. And inside these terrible things, they found amazing gifts and silver linings and spiritual awakening. So the contrast that we experience, the dramas, the problems, has all been for us and didn't, happen for us and not to us, which is the message of the show, really. I think it's the message of the book as well. And
yeah,
that's what unity is. That's what unity is in a nutshell. It's that feeling unified with all things, not just the pretty, happy things.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Have they got anything more to say about that?
Yeah. They're saying it's a repeat of what we all know already, but I'm going to share it. And not all, some of us know. With regards to coming on this earth, yeah, coming on this earth is an experience for us to have. It's an experience. And they keep on saying that word, experience. If you really understand what that means, it's an experience. It's not for us to take it on. It's not for us to say, oh my gosh, this is happening and these people are dying and it means this and the world's going to come to an end and we need to try and save. We're not here to save anything. We're here to have an experience. That's completely two different things. And they keep on saying to me, understand what that means. Because when you humans understand that we're here for an experience, your whole mindset changes with everything that you're going to experience. Yeah. And then you're able to really figure out solutions in a different way, because that fear side is gone. If we know that love of death is something that we need and it's a continuation and it's part of us, then we know we don't need to be afraid of that part. So we know, if we do know that, then we would know that this experience that we're going through right now, where people are transitioning on, that happens every moment of our life. This happens every moment of our life. It has to happen. It's part of the cycle. It's part of why we chose to come onto this earthly realm. So they're trying to say, just sit down, take a breather of really what's going on. If you're in the commotion of just human life, then that's your experience, and you're going to be in the commotion of human life. If you're able to step back, take a breather, and just work out what that means to you, having an experience, what does that mean to you? So I'm giving that out there, whoever wants to listen to this video and this YouTube, is that just sit back and really think about, what does that mean to you to have an experience? And what does that mean to you to have an experience in this time that we're having now? Nothing more. Don't think about yourself. Don't think about others. Don't think about your family and, you don't want to lose them, because that's where the energy of fear starts to come. oh, I don't want my family to die, I don't want this one to die, or we might get corona, and what does that mean? What it means is that you might end up dying. So that's where the fear is, right there. So if we could work on that and just see and experience, our solutions and our consciousness will shift. We will start to see things differently.
Look, absolutely. In order to see this life as an experience, I think the first thing we have to do is to connect with who we are beyond the identity of the body and the personality and the mind. Because while we're so attached to this being who we are and not understanding who we are beyond that, we can't see it that it's an experience. We see it as you know, it's me, it's happening to me. We make it personal.
Yeah.
Look, absolutely. I was thinking when you were talking, so many beings are here right now, incarnated into physical form, you know, having human experiences, because, you know, Zoe, there's nothing better, and you'll know this as a counselor or a teacher, than to see someone shift out of one mindset to another, like have a paradigm shift, to go from this is my reality, and then have this experience of, oh my God, it's not, there's more. And then there's more and there's more. There's something unbelievably thrilling about that when people open and they have this complete paradigm shift, as you have, as I have them often. And I think that so many beings throughout the cosmos are here to have that experience, to watch it within themselves and then to watch it within humanity. And that's like the excitement of this time on Earth right now, is that collectively, globally, we're going through an intense, huge paradigm shift and moving into a completely different way of experiencing Earth life. Don't you feel?
Me personally, I don't feel that.
Okay.
And the only reason why I don't feel that, because it's weird, because when we're speaking about experiences, I actually see, I believe I see it, I feel it, I am the experience. So it's really, it's a lovely experience, but it's an experience which is pondering. And the reason why I say that is because if I spoke to anyone else and I said to them, oh, this is just an experience, what we're going through right now, and let's observe and see how it plays out. What do you mean, let's hope people are dying here? People, you know, so I say the word pondering because my inner soul is connected to what's happening right now. I really do feel the love. I love how the humans are coming together. I love that feeling, but I also love the other side of it, where I can sit back and observe their experience. And why I can sit back and observe the experience, because when the beings came a couple of years ago, and it's like I went into some form of training, and I chose that. Yeah, and the training it's like practice what you're preaching, because it's no point saying, oh yes, and this is, and they say this and they say that. This is me personally, I'm speaking. It's no point me speaking those words and I can't feel it and I'm not of it. So right now, everything that we're going through right now is a beautiful experience where I'm observing and I'm looking in. Now, at the same time, I'm making the most of it. So I'm physically within this bubble at the moment of what we're going through. So what my physical body has decided to do is, for some reason, have experienced doing some comedy. Been doing a lot of comedy sketches of this granny that just came into my spirit, and I dress her up, and I've been doing comedy. And it's something that I've never experienced before. And it's surreal to be able to and I'm able to do this because I'm in the moment of the experience. So me doing comedy in a time like this, the old Zoe, if I looked back or looked forward, the old Zoe, oh no, that's not me. I wouldn't do comedy, and I'm not really. I'm a jokey person. I have it in me, but most of the time I'm really straight cut. I speak about what I'm speaking about. I'm very serious about it. I take it in. I'm very passionate, and so to bring out that other side of me in this time that we're going through, I was able to do that because I'm like, this is an experience. What do I need to learn? What do I need to see? And really, what do I need to observe? So I've been observing a lot, and I haven't been watching that much news and telly, only because when I started looking at it, I'm like, okay, this is a repeat. So so it's like, okay, Zoe, how many repeats do you choose to experience? And I'm like, okay, I've been there, I've experienced that. So I don't really need to be listening to the news or even going on Facebook as much to see what's going on. I do come in and out, but it's so surreal, Karen, to be free to speak to someone and say, oh, I'm having an experience right now with everything that's going on. I'm not judging. I'm not saying, oh, this is lovely or anything like that, but I'm able to sit back and observe. And again, since the beings came, one thing that I learned within my physical self was, they said to me one time, I was speaking and I was like, oh, I'm feeling my purpose, but what is it? Like, I needed a concrete answer to what it was. And they said, you're here to share. You're here to share. Now, what I didn't realize, I understood that, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's what I do. I'm here to share. And it wasn't until I became, there's a difference, I became that sharing, I was able to understand what they meant. And what they meant was, you're here to share, but not get nothing from that sharing. So you're here to share, but get nothing from that sharing. The gifts will just be how it needs to be. So I got to realize that, okay, so let me walk blindly and not wanting to see where I'm going, to see what comes up. And I started to practice that. And then I became that. And then by becoming that, I was able to really just experience and nothing more. So if you said to me, oh, what are you doing in 6 months' time? Or what have you got planned? I don't know. I don't have nothing planned. And I used to. I'm coming from a background of life coaching and stuff like that. Everything was goals. Everything was completing. And that was a great experience. And then I came from that. And we have to grow. And it's like the being said, you think you know what sharing means, but you don't. And that's what I got from that experience, to be able to share and don't get nothing back. But you be getting gifts, but the gifts is just going to be what your soul has chosen, not what you think you need. There's a difference of what you think you want to experience, or what you might choose you want to experience, but what your soul has chosen in this contract, do you really know? So it's just about, again, stepping back and seeing it unfold, instead of trying to hold it or push it or walk to it or try and see it. Just be and let it unfold, and you will start to see what your soul has chosen for you,
Yeah, they're giving you a powerful lesson with all that at the moment.
Yeah.
A powerful lesson. Look, I absolutely agree. The thing about being someone who shares information, whether you're sharing cooking or whether you're sharing spiritual wisdom, is that we get so caught up in how we're going to do that. And then we do courses in marketing and courses in strategy, and sometimes the passion for who you are and why you're sharing it gets lost in all that work and able to share it. And look, sorry, I've got an itchy nose. Hang on.
So have I, actually. I have as well. I just didn't want to itch it.
It's like someone's tickling my nose right now.
Yeah. I'm getting that as well.
It often happens. Yeah, so it's like they're just giving you a spiritual lesson
Yeah,
rather than all the thinking, like how, why, live in the moment, love the moment, and let's see what, shows up. Have the intent, have the desire, stay
yeah,
present. Like it's just spiritual teaching 101, really, isn't
yeah,
it, Zoe? It's like
yeah,
be in the moment and raise your vibe. So be in
yeah,
the moment and love this moment. So it's Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle, it's Abraham Hicks, it's everything. It's Paul Selig's guides, it's everything in this
yeah,
simple, like just live in the moment,
yeah,
watch, observe, enjoy, and allow it to unfold. Because I think that you and I talked about, well, I did with Annette anyway. Annette, who is part of your story, we talked about, there's no free will because everything's already happened. And so, as humans, if everything's already happened, then you just kind of got to wait for it to just show up rather than try and make it show up.
mm,
Do you want
yeah,
to expand on
yeah,
that? Because there is no time and space. And so there's all these probable realities out there that we've chosen before we even come here, if there was a before. And yeah, I suppose the highest version of what you'd want to experience, in that the frequency match, would be just showing up based on what you're vibing in this moment. So the
mm,
happier you are in this moment, the less pushing that you're doing, the less stress that you're doing, the less wanting that you're doing, the more accepting you are in this moment, the more enjoying this moment, like watching it like you would enjoy watching a movie, like you say, just witnessing, enjoying the movie. Then you're a vibrational match to a probable future that's already been designed for you by your soul, if you like, or that's already happened. Then you're allowing that to just unfold, like just let it all unfold.
mm. Yeah. They're saying that um, we create what we desire, and by creating what we desire, it allows our illusion to create the story. So what they're saying is that everything is a creation. So we speak and we say, and I'm the same. So I'm speaking how I would speak with what they're saying, and I would say, okay, but yes, and they say there's a soul, and they say the soul created what we wanted to create, and we came in the physical form. And they're saying, yes, however, if that's what you want to create for yourself, then that will be a belief of what your illusion in this story is creating for yourself. So what they're saying right now is everything we're saying is beautiful and it's nice and it's correct for us and it works well. However, if somebody else chooses to experience and create something different than what we're just saying, they're saying that is still good and real and correct and right and wrong and whatever we want to say. So they're saying yes, but they're always saying to always be open to the collective of our illusion and our story, because it's not just one way. Oh, because we think there's a soul and we came down and we came into the physical and they gave us a contract and we connected to the contract together and we're doing our contract now, and yes, that's correct. However, there may be someone that have chosen to not embrace those rememberings and just say, you know what, I don't know why I'm here. I don't need to know why I'm here. I just want to be. Or you might get another human saying, I don't know why I'm here, but I just need to know. And that is why I'm here. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about if I get married, if I get this, if I'm wealthy, not wealthy. I just need to know why I'm here. So we're all here as a collective to experience. It's like what they're showing me is a beehive, and you have a beehive, and within that beehive, you have those little, those little bits of little holes, or I don't know how to explain it. But within that, you know that the oneness is within it because it's all connected. But everyone has their own little bit that they're experiencing. And when you understand that, then, and you're able to not have no judgments and just say, okay, that's what they've come to experience. Let's go back to Trump. If we're able to just sit back and say, okay, this is what he's chosen to experience. He's chosen to be prime minister at this time and to do his jokes that no one really understands. And he says, I was only joking, or I did mean it, or I didn't mean it, or whatever he chooses to experience. If we just looked at that without saying, how can he do that? He's not meant to be doing that. And just look at his story, nothing more, just his story. You're able to say, wow, okay. And you know, when he does more, you're like, okay, you said, okay, you know, and what they're saying is to be able to have that freedom. You know, we think we have freedom because we're not in a prison, or we're not in a mental institution, or we're not in a, you know, and we think, no, we're free, you know, we're able to work, we're able to do this, we're able to have relationships, we're able to think and you know, and stuff like that. But within our own makeup, the freedom is not really there with us, because we're so much, oh, it needs to be like this. No, we have to love, we have to be caring for others, we have to do that. That's what all of us is here to do. But we're not all here to do that. We're not all here to do that.
Look, none of us are free until we have peace inside our own mind. When you're at war in your mind, you're, you know, there can be no peace in the world if there's no peace in your mind. And as you say, just being in the moment and being peaceful about it, no matter what's happening, no matter how crazy someone's tweets are, or how many people are dying, or how the corruption is being exposed, or this person's got an agenda and that person's got an agenda, and that one's right and that one's wrong, and this is going to happen and they're going to destroy the world, and we're all being incarcerated, and our freedoms are, you know, there's just so much to fight at the moment. But
and even you saying it in that way, feel that energy.
I know, we're just at war, aren't we? And really what we all want is peace. And peace we can find just by being outside of the war in the mind, which is something, look, it's something that is just such a powerful message right now, because as the shift is hitting the fan, even bigger than it did during the Australian fires, people's war in their mind is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I guess that at some point, the war in your mind you just have to reach a point where you can't live like that anymore. You just can't live like that anymore. You have to find that peace. You know, there's, what was I going to say? Oh, my mind is all over the place at the moment, because as you speak, there's so many things, so many topics I could come up with. But let's just look at what's been happening for you since we last spoke. When was it? Like a few months ago, 5 months ago. What's been happening with the beings? They've just been saying, be happy, stay in the moment, and comedy is just something that's come up for you to do comedy, which I think is classic. I think it's perfect. Yeah. It's a perfect time to do comedy.
Yeah. Well, my relationship with the beings now is as and when. So, and it's nice because they're here constantly. They're within us anyway. And I'm able to, it's like a little child where I'll go off and experience and then come back, you know, and then go off and experience and come back. But within that, they're around and they're here and they're all one. But where before they will go missing and come out of my consciousness and then turn up, they're just constantly within now. And that's my growth that's got it to that. You know, it's everything is just, and then within my physical body, I'm creating this love energy to grow how my perception would like it to grow, if I say that. So I'm finding now that within our relationship, it just is, you know. However, which is really in nice for my energy right now, is that it's growing with everyone else's relationship. So how I choose to grow with the beings, I'm choosing to grow outwards within this story, within my illusion of this life. And so one thing I said to the beings when they came a couple of years ago was, I don't want to just take information and I'm not doing the doing, because I have an energy about myself. I do not like to speak what I am not. And that's just me. And it's something that if I know I'm still learning and I'm still not there, or I'm still practicing or in that class of teachings, I'd rather step back and learn and learn and learn and learn until I'm like, okay, I think I can start talking now, because I feel like I'm of it, you know. And
I absolutely, look, Zoe, I absolutely do know. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I've been speaking with spiritual teachers for like 20, 25 years, showcasing them. And I've seen so many of them speak about things that they don't live. So many, like the majority, probably 90%, probably even a bigger percentage. And I felt the same as you. I felt like I couldn't really speak about anything if I wasn't really living it, because it wouldn't be in integrity or congruent, you know, it would be out of congruency. And yet I saw so many doing it. And I asked my beings, what is it with that? And they said, oh God, Karen, if we waited for everyone to live what they speak, no, there'd be no spiritual teachers.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, this is true. And I'm not no spiritual teachers, but there'd be very few. And I went, yeah, this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
They said, we need the message to be spread far and wide, and we need it to be spoken from as many people as we can in as many different ways and as many different, voices and dialects and coming from many different ways of living. And yeah, we're trying to get the message out there to humanity. We are one, and love is you. And so they said, we just want it as spoken as by as many people as possible, and we can't wait for everyone to actually live that truth. Okay, I get that, but I know exactly what you mean, Zoe, and it's something I felt too years ago when I first discovered channeling. I was in my early 20s, and I went to see a channeler, and I found it was really hilarious because she put on the funny voice and turned into a different personality, and my mind couldn't really accept it. I was so enjoying the theatre of the way it came, the message was coming through. I couldn't really hear the message because there was so much theatre. There was like, and but the Christ consciousness, came to me, or Jesus, or whatever you want to call it. And he said, I never called myself a channeler. Like, he just said that over and over and over to me. And I think that was that message for me. If you're going to channel the information, do your best to live it. And if you don't live it, talk about how you don't live it, but you're still trying.
And that's still okay.
Yeah, be the message rather than just deliver the message. But as I say, I speak to so many people who are not the message, but they deliver it, and we need that delivery. So
and what they're saying is, remember, nothing is right or wrong.
Yeah,
nothing is right or wrong. So you're going to get some humans that's come to just give the message. You're going to get some humans that choose to experience it and then give it, and there is even some that has chosen to just experience it and not share, because that's not what they're here to do. They're here to just experience it. And that's okay too. So
absolutely,
everything is okay, because we're just in this makeup of storytelling where we've like, okay, this is just one part, and what they're showing me right now is different doors. So within our makeup, there's different doors. So this is just one door. This is just one door that we're in, and we're consciously experiencing something. There's so many, it's like, it's forever, isn't it? It's forever continuation of experiences and energy that is here to experience. And what they're saying is, well, we only have a set of conscious remembrance that we can only get to a certain point on this earth. So this is why we have to transition. Yeah, so where we think this is the main and end all, and we don't want to transition on, and we don't want to lose our loved ones and stuff like that, there's only so much we're going to be. So when some people say, oh, the fifth dimension and the sixth and the seventh and the eighth and the numbers of the dimensions, there's only so much of us humans that we will ever get to. We need to transition on to continue and push that energy. So again, it all depends on how we see ourselves while we're here experiencing what we're experiencing. It's all going to be different, even though we're in the oneness. And this earthly realm is meant to be like that. This is only one door that we're in, so this one is meant to be like this. We're meant to be having the different concepts and stuff for us to learn and teach and experience and not like. And some people say, you get some humans that say, I just don't like it here. I don't connect here. I don't like it here. And they choose to transition on themselves, where they I won't say commit suicide. I just don't like those words, but they choose to end this physical form and transition on because they literally don't like it. And they're actually saying that's okay. That's okay. We see it as, oh, you're not meant to do that, and they're saying that is okay, because if you know that you're here and this is just the one experience, the one door that we're in, and you're like, do you know what? Okay, it's just not for me. I can't take the energy. I can't even take the humans. I can't take what we do and what we don't do. I'm too sensitive for this time and this energy field. So you know what? I'm going off. And they're saying that's also okay.
As you're talking, I can hear so many protests. It's funny, when I do the shows, I can actually hear the people that are watching. I can hear the thoughts of the people that are listening. Isn't that interesting? And before, I can hear a lot of protests to that. And before, I could hear people saying, oh, when you were talking about something else, they were saying, so I know I'm here to share a message, but I don't know how to do that, or what I'm supposed to do. And I was going to ask you a question about that, but I don't have the question at the moment. But I can hear people that are watching this, even though it's happening in the future, I can hear their thoughts. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's a good question, what you've just asked. I'm going to give it to them, because there's a lot of humans that say that.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And I've just given it to them. And what they're saying is simple again. It's going to be really simple, is to be able to, what they're doing is what they're meant to be doing. So, sometimes we want it concrete. Oh, unless I can see it, and then unless people are recognizing it, for me to say, oh, this is what I'm doing. Oh, I've got followers. I've got people recognizing. So that means this is what I'm meant to be doing. They're saying it don't necessarily come like that. It don't necessarily come like that. You could be on the street just walking and sharing energy that way, and you're not speaking to anyone. And you're every day when you're walking through, that's you doing what you're meant to be doing, without no speaking, no actions, no followers, no one following you and having to watch what you're doing for you to think, this is my purpose. It shows this is my purpose, because I've got thousands and thousands of people. I have fans now. I have people watching me, so that means this is my purpose. They said, don't get it. They said the word twisted. Don't get it twisted. Just because you have followers and you have people following you and they're telling you you're doing great and this is what you're doing and thank you so much, you've helped me, that doesn't mean that is your overall purpose. That could just be part of it, or that could just be an experience that's making you not look at the purpose of what meant to be here, you know. And they said, a purpose, what does a purpose mean to you? They've just said that. So I'm giving it to you. What does a purpose mean to us?
What does a purpose mean to you?
So
Absolutely.
they've given us a question.
You know, part of the waves of volunteers that are people that are here, are people that have come into physical density to just carry a frequency. And as you say, they don't have to do or say anything, because they just carry a frequency that is making an incredible difference to the frequency of this world. They're like a tuning fork, you know, that they're vibrating. And so when you put that tuning fork next to another tuning fork, that tuning fork starts to vibrate in the same way. So as you hold that frequency and you just go about your life, you're actually, people are starting to remember, you know, like that's closer to their true frequency, and they start to shift and change. And so just doing anything, this is a message I gave to one of the young participants in my group the other day. He's always asking, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, it doesn't matter what you do anything. Do what you love to do, or do something that frightens you, or do something you just think's interesting. It doesn't matter, because you hold that frequency. So no matter what you do, you're making a difference. You don't have to.
And this is what they're saying, just be.
Just be.
Literally. And I know it's so simple, but the words that come out so simple, they're saying we're still bypassing it. We're still not seeing it. So really, it's not simple. So they're even saying that to me. You'll keep on saying that, Zoe. It's so simple, but it's not simple to everyone. And it's not even simple to you sometimes. So, you know, the language of the words that we use, it's sometimes it can cloud us, because energy comes not just by words. So if we put the words to the side, we put communication through words to the side, then what do you have? And a lot of the times where I've been having my teachings with the beings, it would be, all right, communication put to the side. Just go by your instinct, your feeling, and put no words to it. What do you get? You know, and again, you get something completely different, you know, because, you know, communication and words come with labels, doesn't it? You're this, you're a mother, you're you're all labels. And that's fine, they said. That is the makeup. That comes with communication. But you can at times put it down and just have other experiences without communication. And when you open up that mindset in that way, you start to grow differently, and you start to experience different experiences as well. And that also helps you to grow. So they're not saying this one's better than that one or anything like that, but they're just saying be a bit more open. You know, not just because we speak and we communicate, that's the only way to communicate. And we know this because they always bring it back. My consciousness is always about disabled and on the spectrum and stuff. My heart is connected to that because I'm part of that lineage as well in this physical form. So again, if they said you see someone that, you know, communicates in different way because they can't speak, they maybe can't hear, they maybe can't see, but they're still living, they're still communicating.
Absolutely.
They're still living day by day. That's their purpose. They're experiencing still, you know. And then you might have some humans look at that and think, oh, there's so much they can't do. They can't walk, they can't speak, they can't hear. Some's blind as well. They can't see. Oh, they're limited with what they're doing. They're not limited with what they're doing. They're just on a different frequency. You know, we go to animals as well, a different frequency. Does not mean because we can speak, we're the ones that's more advanced than anyone else on this earth. So again, it's about unity and remember that every time we go into a situation, just remember things like that. It just brings you back straight away, back to, oh, okay, I forgot that for a second, or I didn't see it in that way. And it just brings you back into the oneness for that time.
Let me ask you, since you've had more of a permanent connection or permanent awareness, let's put it that way, because the connection was permanent. It's just the awareness of it wasn't, probably, with the beings. How has your work changed? How's your family changed? Like, how's it affected the people around you? Let's put it that way.
Oh my gosh, that is a good question. Yeah. And I say that because I still have a family. I still have my grandchildren. I still have the hubby, and I'm still doing daily things. I still cook, I still cook for them. I still have a routine. Right. And within all of that, I'm this being of a person that just bees. I'm just being within everything that I'm doing. And I was speaking to the hubby just in the week, actually, and he was saying that the difference that you are so different.
Really?
And the difference that you are, you make people think, because if you sometimes look at some of the so-called, I don't like to say, but like spiritual beings, or monks or gurus, or, and they go traveling to do what they need to do, or, they may be chosen, or they're so chosen not to have a family and not to have the husband or the wife, or, a partner, and they go off and do what they need to do. This is what I've chosen. But I can honestly say, when I was younger, I did not know that you could have the balance of this. I thought that, okay, I don't think I'm meant to have a hubby, because I know my true self. I know this was me. And I knew I needed to be free to be this, so I thought maybe I won't get the hubby, maybe I won't experience that sort of life. And I was okay with that, to be honest. And the day that my whole spirit, there's a difference of saying you're okay, but you still have thoughts. Like, but I would like to have a partner, but I'm okay. But I would like, sometimes I get a bit lonely now, So when all that went, and I truly was within, and I'm like, okay, I'm truly okay with this. And when you're truly okay with something, because you just be. There's no more ifs, buts. And the talking that you do in your mind now, your ego changes form. So where before it was like, but you still want that, or and you're like, I do, but I'm okay. It changes form, where it becomes, oh, I remember when I used to want that. But wow, I don't know more. And it just feels, and the day that came, everything changed for me. My partner, my husband that I'm with now, entered, and he mirrored me, but completely differently. And it showed me that you're able to still have that freedom and still have a relationship, because relationships are oneness, but it just seems different, but it's all one. So he was very similar to me, where he was like, love all. And this relation ain't no different than mine, with my daughter, with my family, with my friends, with people that I don't know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel the same. My relationship ain't no different. And it just changed form. But I had to be ready. It's like when I sat down and said, okay, I literally given up, and I've chosen this, and I'm truly okay. It's like when you connect together, then they're able to say, okay, you've done that part of that teaching. You're here now. Now you can go on to the next. This is your gift. Go and experience. And that is how I felt. This was my gift. So from then to now, where I'm just living it day by day, I get it all the time. I get the same words. Wow, Zoe, you're so different. And you're so this. And, oh, wow, you're just different. Oh, we don't understand you, And I'll get the we don't understand you. And then I will get, wow, I wish I could be like you, but I could never be like you. Or I'm doing the comedy act now, and that just came in through what the situation that we're going through, and I'm working from home, and we're in more, and it just came out one day. I was doing a comical thing, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could dress up as a grandmother, and I could be Granny Pennant, and we need laughter right now, and this is what I could give. This is the energy, what I can give, because I give the speech and, the positive talk, and yes, we all need to be positive and love and caring. I do that anyway. But this energy of this physical Zoe has come in, that's something completely different. And my oldest son said to me, I sent out the video to them first before I sent it out. And my oldest son said, Mum, I was looking at you and I couldn't believe that was my mother, and you were so comical and you was just a different energy, and I've never seen that in you before in my life, and I didn't even know you had it in you to be like that. And that made me feel nice, because I thought I'm always the one level-headed, you know, and words of wisdom and always that sort of person. So to have that comical just everything stripped down from you and you just be, that was nice. So the answer to your question is that every single moment I'm experiencing things now, and the difference is that I'm able to experience it without thinking what it's going to lead to. So I'm not looking for anything. I'm not looking for people to like it, not to like it. I'm not looking for recognition. I'm not even looking to see if they find it funny or not. I'm just connecting to a sharing that I've connected with. And I feel like, yes, let's bring laughter right now in this, and I'm doing. So that's where right now, what has changed for me, I'm literally just doing now. And another thing that came to me, there was two things that when we speak about what our soul is wanting to experience, there was, when I was younger, all the way up to need changing my mindset, there was one thing I've always wanted, always, and it was just to be, and I'm talking about financially here, I've always just wanted to be able to pay my bills with my eyes closed and not worry and just be. I've never wanted the mansion. I've never said, I want nice cars and I need millions of pounds, and those words never came out of my mouth. What you choose to experience for yourself will happen. Yeah, that's all I've ever wanted. That's all I've ever said. All I would like is to be able to pay my bills with my eyes closed and then just be, but I don't need to worry. And when the day came where it got to that stage, you know, sometimes you ask for something and when it comes, you still have that fear a bit, because you're like, oh, is it going to go? Is it really here? Wow. You know, and then you get the ego coming in. And then when you can get relaxed with that and sit down and say, okay, I'm here now. Let's live it. Let's explore it. You know, let's be it. So that part is not in my life. So I don't have financial worries or anything, because I feel like it's been very easy for me. I've just wanted to be able to pay my bills with my eyes closed. So I'm rich, you know, that's what I asked for. That's what I got. So I'm able to put that to the side now, not have to think about that, because that's taken care of. The universe has granted me my gifts. I'm like, thank you very much. I'm going to be grateful. I have a lot of gratitude. Let's go on and now and do what else I need to do. So there's certain things that can be put down. So again, the next one was the relationship part. I did not think that I could do the both in this physical. I thought it had to be one or the other.
So when you
and
said
when
did
that
both,
came up,
you didn't think that you could be the messenger or the spiritual teacher or whatever and be a wife and a mother and all that.
yeah,
So, but you
yeah,
found that you can do that, no drama.
Yeah, and it's, again, it was something that I've always wanted to experience, but I thought I couldn't do the both, because when I was younger on this path, it just wasn't working. It wasn't lining up and the balance wasn't there. So I just thought, maybe I'm asking for something that maybe isn't for me. So let me just be, accept it, be okay. And soon as I really accepted it, and I mean my inner self accepting it, not me just speaking, but my mind's still having those moments, really connecting with the oneness with it. As soon as that came, that's it, change happened. And I realized for some people and within myself, when you get to that stage of the teaching's up now, where you've done all the teaching, you've done all the learning, and you become one, then they're like, okay, this is your gift. Now, come on, you've got your gift here. Stop pondering on it. You love it. Take it for what it is, but let's continue on now, and you're able to have space to grow further, you know. So right now I'm in the moment of the present time. I don't know what's happening next week. I don't know what's happening next month. I know that we had this coming up, so this was booked from when we spoke before, but it was left because I don't know the future. So I don't know if anything was going to come and it wasn't going to be, or it was going to be. I didn't ponder on that. It just was, and then I put it down, and then I waited for it to see how it was going to grow. And I love living like that. You know, I'm coming from a past where everything was like, what does this mean? I used to go to fortune tellers constantly. I just wanted to know my future, what's going on. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling that as well. If someone says something that I'm in line with, oh yes, you know, and constantly that was the old Zoe in that way, and being able to have faith within your own soul. If you're truly having faith with what your soul has chosen, and you say, come on, soul, just show me then. I have faith, whatever it is, I'm able to know that this is what we need to experience. Let's do this. And you have that freedom to be not like, but I really would like, but I don't want it that, but I want this. If you can take that away and just be, you're able to just see the beauty in everything. And I think that's where the beauty comes in.
Oh, darling, absolutely. Loving what is. Yeah, loving what is. It's easy to talk about, but actually doing it, as you say, as the being said, it's so simple, but it's so not.
Yeah.
It's like this dichotomy. It's so simple, like just be at peace and love what is. Well, that sounds simple. Now try doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the teaching is.
Yeah.
That is the teaching. And the more that we don't do, the more that we will say it like, oh yeah. But when you're not doing it, it's like, okay, so you're going to be here for a while, you know, before we go on to different experiences. And that's why some people feel like their conscious mind is going around in circles. They're like, well, I'm not moving. I'm just doing the same old things all the time. And you're not doing the same old things all the time. You can't, because energy shifts and moves like a wave constantly, you know. So we're never doing the same thing time and time again, but our conscious mind will make us believe that we are literally going around in circles, you know, because sometimes it's not as easy taking the action than just taking the information. Taking the information can be really easy, quite straightforward. But when it comes to the action and the experiences that we have to go through with the actions, sometimes it's an experience that maybe not everyone wants to experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, my guides have been saying the same thing, just like enjoy the now and just watch and wait and see what's going to happen, because there's just so much happening. Like just enjoy the movie.
That's where the magic is.
Yeah, enjoy the movie, because there's so many people at the moment sending me petitions to sign and do this and do that and let's not make this and this can't happen and that can't happen and look what's happening, and there's just so much action happening. And I just ask my mob and they just say, just wait, just watch, just you don't have to do anything right now. Just wait and see, and when you're impulsed to do some action, when it moves you. That's the conversation I had with them today, actually, before, because about 5 people sent me petitions to sign and letters to send to the government, and like another half a dozen letters to send to the government, and do this and do that and do this, and we can't make this happen. And I just went, what should I do about this? They just said, just sit back and just watch, wait, watch. And when you feel that it's time for you to act, you'll do it. You'll just do it. You'll know it's right. Like, right, I'm going to do it.
It's an instinct thing.
Yeah, it's an impulse, an instinct. Yeah, it's just, like the comedy, right? I'm going to be Granny. What do you call her? Granny Pennant.
Granny Pennant, yeah. I'll send one to you, actually. I'll send it to you. Yeah.
So the kids are loving it. They think, oh, when did Mum find a sense of humour?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. Oh, my cat's still trying to drink my water. It's mine. Oh, darling, I haven't got too many other questions really. We could just say the same, as you say, we could say the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what? But that's what the media does. As you said before when you were talking, I don't turn on the television because they're just repeating themselves over and over and
Yeah.
over again. That's how they condition us. That's how they
Yeah.
hypnotize us. That's how
Yes.
beliefs that are so contrary to who we are as beings of love and light. That's how beliefs get formulated, by this constant repetition. And you know, the beings might be repeating themselves, different question, same answer. Like they say, love is the answer to every question. Love is the answer to every question. But I think that our minds have been conditioned to listen to this repetition until it just becomes our knowingness or this remembering, because that's what we're used to when we watch our media and screens and stuff. There's just this constant bombardment of repetition of the same old crap. So yeah, needs to be repeated.
I've just asked them a question. It's just come up into my mind, and I'm asking them, what is it about humans and needing to follow and become robots in that way? What is that about? So that's just come to me. So I'm going to give that to them, needing to follow and become robots. So they're saying that it's not something that we need to do. It's a choice thing. But the following comes within. But because we don't use the within as much, we feel that we have to follow another person outside of you. So the following, your leader, whatever words you want to call it, that's all within. We have it within us already. So they're saying we don't need leaders. We don't need anyone to lead the country or lead this. We've been told that if we don't have leaders, there will be chaos. They're saying there won't be chaos. It's not a need. You know, it's humans that has chosen to say, if we don't have this, we need a leader. We need you guys to follow and be like robots and listen and be guided and stuff like that. Because if you don't, you guys will be all chaos. He's saying no. He said, look at animals. Again, they've gone back to animals. They've gone back to insects and how they live. And it's an instinct. So they know what they need to do and what they don't need to do and how they need to behave. And they know why they're here and what they need to be doing. It's very easy for them to have that concept. Now, what they're saying here is, we say a lot, humans, we're the ones that's evolved more than insects. We're evolved more than animals. But if you look at them and their program and how they live and how they're structured, if you want to call it that, we need to have some of that. We need to look at that more, you know. So their main answer is, we don't need to have leaders and stuff like that. They over here, I think it was Sunday, a lot of us was waiting for the talk from Boris with what to do next with regards to the lockdown and stuff like that. And he'd done his speech, and a lot of people just were still confused. I don't get it. I don't know what you mean. What, we can go out a bit more now, but we still stay home? Oh, we can go to work, but if you don't need to, don't. But if you do need to, go. And it was a lot like that. And what they're saying again is that go within, go with your instinct. You know, they're not saying don't follow, and they're not saying you can't have a leader, but what they're saying is that we need to be able to have faith and confidence in our own intuition. And that is not what we do.
Absolutely. The whole way our society is structured, it's set up to disempower that very thing. You know, the laws, our law system, the roads, the rules on the roads, the law, like it's all set up because it all sets, you cannot govern your own life. So because we can't trust you to do the right thing,
Yes.
we've got to create these laws. You know,
yes.
There was a European country, and don't ask me which one it was. It could have been Holland. It could have been somewhere else, Lithuania. It could have been a Scandinavian country. I can't remember the details. But they decided, it might have been just a town, to take all the lights and traffic lights and all the road rules off the streets. And they had much better traffic flow and less accidents than they ever did when they had these lights and laws and stop signs, and because people just used their instincts, and they did, they let people in. They weren't sort of like, you went through a red light, or don't you know that that's a stop sign? They weren't sort of trying to obey the rules. They were just living in the living more in the moment. And so it was a perfect example of the less rules we give humanity, the more we come back to our own genius and intelligence within. I think that, Zoe, with all the lockdowns, as you say, and rules getting stricter, maybe it has to get worse before it gets better, for people to actually see, we don't need your laws, we don't need your rules. We want to live.
It's so surreal for you to say that, and we're wrapping up now, and I think this is a good way to wrap this up, because if you remember, we said this at the beginning when we was talking about all these laws and stuff like that, and what that really means to us, and being able to go connect within and go into ourselves to say, okay, right now we're in this situation. What's your instinct saying? Is your instinct saying to stay in? Does your instinct say that you have the virus? Is your instinct saying that you might be one to experience that?
Exactly.
Is your instinct saying that, okay, there's so many things that we can ask ourselves to even know that, because they don't know who's got it, so who haven't. So we need to go within. We have to ask ourselves, okay, so this is what we need to experience. Have we got the virus? Okay, we haven't. Okay, is it okay to still go to work? Is it, we need to ask ourselves that. And ourselves will tell us. We know this, you know this. But, and they said at the beginning, this is just the beginning, even though there's no beginning and no end. But there's going to be more experiences where humans are going to be,
more chaos, more lockdowns.
I don't know. And the reason why that needs to be is because it's waking us up, and we can choose. Was what we're saying now, to say, you know what, we need to start going within now. We know we have it. The intuition's there. We've experienced it many times when we're like, oh, that's a coincidence, when it wasn't a coincidence, but we're just using those words and moving on. But we all have it within us. And again, they're saying, go back to animals and instinct. They govern by that. They're governed by their instincts. At the moment, I have caterpillars that's living with us for 3 weeks, and the caterpillars are going to, we're really seeing their transformation and how they're growing in the home. And then they're going to be butterflies, and we're going to release them and let them be free. And that is the metaphor of life. When do we get to that space, that place as humans, when we can allow freedom to just be, and that's the bigger picture of these leaders. No, you guys need to be told. You need structure. So we are here to give you that structure. No, it's not needed. Not to say the experience doesn't need to be there, but it's not a need. So when we can choose to have that experience, and they're talking to even me now, and you and everyone, because we're still there. We're all still there. Even spiritual beings and spiritual teachers and stuff are still there. Because that's one thing, that we're robots within this human life. From time we have laws, and we know that there's one thing, we can't do this, and we're not able to do that. Oh, they've changed it now. Oh, so we can't do this now. Oh, we can't do that now. Okay. Oh, we can. Okay, thank you. So that's prison within our makeup of this illusion that we're in. But they're saying that there is a time when you can choose to say, I'm going to go within more. And, let me ask the inner God. Let me ask the universe, the inner universe, with regards to this situation right now. And if we look at it, come on, we know we're hearing the news right now, and we're knowing that they don't know and nobody knows, and everyone's saying maybe this, maybe that. Oh, I'll cover yourself, but then don't cover yourself. Use gloves, but then don't use gloves. Okay, wash your hands, then don't wash your hand. Okay, and there's so many conflicts within the sharing that people are becoming like that. So that's why you're going to get some that's going to be, oh my gosh, how can they do this? No, they shouldn't be doing that. Oh, let's give love. No, let's do this. It's all conflict because there's so much fear right now. But we need to get out of that fear to get to the next stage. Now that governs how we choose to experience. So that's going to govern our outcome, and that's why they're saying there's more to come.
Yeah.
There's more to come.
Absolutely.
So it'd be good to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're in for some wild rides in the next few years, but it's all pushing us inside, really. Yeah. We've got to stop looking for the authority of our lives in the politicians, in the guru, in the, and listen to that's the message for all of it. Because as the crazy gets crazier and the chaos gets more chaotic, you just got to stop looking outside yourself for your sense of peace and sense of safety. And security. As humans, we look for this security in the good, the politician or the money in the bank or the secure job or the husband that's not cheating, or we're looking outside of ourselves for a sense of
everything's outside.
Everything's outside. So it's just a way to push us all back in and listen to the guidance within.
Yes,
darling one, thank you so much for coming on the show again. It's been such a blessing.
Thank you.
Blessing. And
thank you.
I look forward to chatting with you again another time. I think you're coming into the inner sanctum towards the end of the year. People are excited to meet you in there. They're excited for you to come on.
That would be really nice.
I think that's November, isn't it? You're coming in as a guest teacher. So we'll have fun then, and we'll know what the world will be. Whatever happens,
exactly.
Whatever happens, all we can do is just stay in the moment, stay loving, and listen to the guidance within. Simple, right? Simple.
Yes.
Simple and easy.
Yeah, very simple. Yeah. But complicated for some. Yeah, I'm telling you. Okay.
Big love.
I'll tell you. All right, thank you very much. Keep safe, and we'll speak soon.
It was wonderful connecting with Zoe again. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. We had no plan. I had no questions. We had no plan. And she said, brilliant. That's exactly what they're saying. Have less of a plan and just show up in the moment and see what happens. And that's what we did. And so I hope it was, I hope you stayed till the end and listened to what Zoe had to say. Beautiful conversation. So needed at the moment. Be in the now, stay loving, and enjoy the ride and see what's going to happen next. Just be and anticipate good things to come, even though it might look like chaos. It's all working for us and not happening to us, no matter what we experience. We do have that perspective from a broader perspective. We do have that perspective when we die, if you like, from our soul's perspective. But can we don that? Can we live that? Can we have that perspective while we're in our physical bodies? It's a much more peaceful way to live, an easier way to live, just staying in the moment. I can't tell you how many spiritual teachers say it. Eckhart Tolle has been saying it over and over and over, repeating himself, as many spiritual teachers, the power of now, the now moment. Staying present, showing up in the now, and loving what is regardless of what's happening, both personally in our own world and globally in the world at large. Loving what is and seeing how it's going to play out, which is exactly what I did when Trump got in, actually. I remember thinking, wow, I can't believe this is happening. It didn't make any logical sense to me. And then the next thought was, wow, it's going to be so interesting to see how this plays out. It's something I don't know, but there is a bigger part that does know. There's a plan there. And with all the chaos that we're seeing, with, you know, somebody sent me a video just before I went on, started recording with Zoe, of the protests around the world. There are just literally millions and millions and millions of people all over the world protesting about the lockdowns, screaming and yelling, and they're together in these massive groups, screaming and yelling, and placards and so on and so forth. The mainstream media is not reporting this, I don't think. I don't know, I don't watch the mainstream media. But it's so amazing to see how many people are revolting. You know, we don't have to be a part of the protests unless you feel that that's what you want to do, like your impulse to do that. Follow your impulses and do it. But just watching how it's playing out, watching how people are saying, no, we're not going to put up with this. It's fascinating. It's fascinating what's happening. Fascinating. So, yes, what's coming up? Well, I've got the beautiful Jane Elworthy coming into the Inner Sanctum Palladian Hathor sound transmission. I'm looking forward to that. I really am. She's gorgeous, and we can all just chill out, do a bit of sound. Sound healing is just so... Since we've had the lockdowns, I haven't been to any sound healings. I go to them quite often. This cat's going crazy. He wants his... Because Zoe's in the UK, I've done this late in the afternoon, so it's his dinner time. That's why he's going crazy. He's hassling me. Feed me. What was I saying? Sound. Yes, sound. And there's nothing better than being in sound activations, I tell you. It's nothing better. So I'm looking forward to that. And who else is coming up? I don't know. More people coming up in the Inner Sanctum. I've got them all booked until the end of the year. As I said, Zoe's going to come in as a guest teacher at the end of the year. And we can get, if you want to meet her and have a bit of a chat to her beings and, quiz mine, or if you want to quiz my beings. I've got to say, the same messages that come through Zoe come through me. I just don't really attribute it so much to the mob. And sometimes I do. I say, they're telling me this, they're telling me that. But at some part, it just becomes a part of who you are, rather than you being separate to your mob or to your guides. You and they become one being. So, as I said in the conversation, Jesus, when he used to speak to me, said, I never said I was channeling, but I did say that I was inspired from the Father, you know, whatever vernacular he used in 2,000 years ago. I am my Father's son, or whatever he said, you know, kingdom of heaven is within you. So yeah, we become one with the message that we bring, and it becomes our truth. And so I'm telling you this because it's my truth, rather than the guides are telling me this to tell to you. You know, it just becomes one truth. It's your truth, it's my truth, it's our truth, the oneness of being. So thanks again for watching. Love you all. See you soon. Remember to buy the book Awakened by Death for more truths from people finding the silver lining in the most horrific circumstances, and seeing the gift. Life is a gift. Bye for now. Big love.